Hello and welcome to this MBSR Orientation. My name is Nina Paul and I will be guiding you through this session. I am an MBSR teacher at GW Center for Integrative Medicine, and I teach mindfulness courses at the George Washington University. After this session, you will have come away with a good idea of what to expect by taking an 8-week MBSR program. MBSR is also known as Mindfulness-Based Stress Reduction. MBSR is considered the gold standard of mindfulness programs in the field of medicine because it is so well researched. The central focus of MBSR is to provide you with an intensive training in mindfulness meditation, also known as mindful awareness practices. And to give you an opportunity to engage with other participants in the program for community support and the support of the instructor, and learn how to integrate mindfulness into the challenges and stresses of daily life. And you will come away with a solid mindfulness practice and a solid foundation in the skills of mindfulness so that you can have less stress reactivity and handle your stress with more ease and balance. In this session, we will go over the origins of MBSR, how it was started and when it was started, definitions of what mindfulness and mindful awareness practice is, and the logistics of the 8 weekly classes in terms of what mindfulness practices you will learn and what the content is of each week. And since most of the time is actually spent in mindful awareness practices, you will engage in 3 core MBSR mindfulness practices: mindfulness of breathing, the body scan, and mindful movement. MBSR was developed in 1979 by Dr. John Kabat-Zinn at the University of Massachusetts Medical Center. And he was a scientist and an experienced practitioner of yoga and mindfulness meditation. So he had a firsthand understanding of how these mindfulness practices could help one reduce pain and suffering and illness. And so he developed this secular 8-week mindfulness-based stress reduction program. And what they found was it was an adjunct program for chronic pain patients and patients who are suffering with diseases like AIDS and cancer at the clinic. And what they found was that these practices were highly effective in reducing the suffering and the stress of these patients. And MBSR is scientifically researched. So it is shown that after taking an 8-week MBSR program, there are a variety of benefits that occur. It can reduce anxiety and depression, strengthen the capacity of focus and attention, and decrease mind wandering into thoughts of the past and the future and rumination. It strengthens our abilities to regulate our difficult emotions, and it can improve sleep and mood and strengthen mind states of calm and compassion. In terms of health, it is shown to enhance cardiovascular function, reduce inflammation, it can reduce blood pressure, and there are many, many more benefits that are showing up in the thousands and thousands of studies that continue to be done on the effectiveness of mindfulness. And I will include links to the research at the end of this session. So we're going to stop and pause here and take a short meditation break, and we will engage in mindfulness, mindful awareness rather, of our breath and of our body. So I'm inviting you right now to take a moment and just stop and pause here. And you can get into a seated posture where you're sitting upright and relaxed, sitting in a posture where you feel alert. And then you can start by just feeling your feet making contact with the floor. And you can close your eyes or have a soft gaze downward, whatever is more comfortable for you. So you're tuning into the sensations in your feet and noticing what your feet feel like, making contact with the floor. And then taking your attention up to your legs, and you can notice your legs and your buttocks making contact with the chair and the sensations here. You can notice your back making contact with the back of the chair. And notice your hands perhaps resting on your lap, making contact with your lap. And then to bring a bit more ease to the body, you can soften your hands. You can bring your shoulders down away from your ears. And you can relax the face, starting by relaxing the jaw, softening the eyes and the eyelids, and softening the forehead as best you can, just bringing awareness in a kind and open way to the face, and then getting a sense of your whole body sitting here breathing. You can anchor your attention either at the belly or the chest. And just start to feel the movement of the breath, feeling the belly or the chest or both rising and falling on each in and out breath. So you're not thinking about the breath, you're feeling it, just feeling the breath sensations moment to moment, breath by breath. And each time you notice your mind wanders off from the breath into thoughts or other distractions, it's quite natural. It's a nature of the mind to wander. So you can just gently acknowledge that as thinking or wandering, saying that to yourself. And then bring your attention back to the breath. Each time you notice the mind has wandered off. That's the essence of the practice. So I'll drop into silence now and let you just focus on your breath sensations for the next few minutes. Feeling the breath as it's coming in and as it's going out, moment to moment. And then when you're ready to bring this mindful awareness practice to a close, open your eyes and gently bring your attention back into the room. Welcome back. So, what is mindfulness? Dr. John Kabat-Zinn defines mindfulness as paying attention in a particular way, on purpose, in the present moment, and non-judgmentally. Dr. Shauna Shapiro, psychologist and author of The Art and Science of Mindfulness, defines it as having three elements: intention, attention, and attitude. In mindfulness practice, we are cultivating our awareness so that we become present to each moment as best we can. And we bring attitudes of kindness and curiosity to ourselves, and no matter what we are experiencing in the meditation, pleasant or unpleasant. And that is exactly what you just did. In the short mindfulness meditation you just engaged in, I invited you to stop and pause while you were sitting to bring your attention to your breath and body sensations moment to moment. And by paying attention in this way, that brought you into the present moment. You probably noticed that your attention had pretty quickly wandered off into thoughts and other distractions as you were focusing on these anchors of the breath and the body. And I asked you to notice this as a very natural and normal tendency of the mind. It didn't mean that anything had gone wrong. And in fact, by noticing where your attention went, that was a moment of mindful awareness. And then the instruction was to acknowledge that your mind had wandered, and then to gently bring your attention back to the anchor of the breath each time your mind had wandered off. As John Kabat-Zinn said, if your mind wandered off from the anchor of attention 100 times, then you would bring it back to the anchor 100 times. And that's the essence of the practice. Mindfulness is an inherent quality of mind that we all have, of being in the moment and aware of what we are doing while we are doing it. It's the antidote to mindlessness, a state of mind where we are constantly doing our activities while lost in thoughts, or on autopilot, or we are feeling scattered and distracted because we are multitasking and never able to be with one thing fully. You can learn more about the MBSR program and in more detail as it's outlined in John Kabat-Zinn, Full Catastrophe Living. And chapters from this book are often assigned as reading while you go through the MBSR program. An additional benefit of mindfulness is the focus and concentration that's developed when you repeatedly bring your attention back to the anchors. And since we are observing and accepting our experiences in meditation without judgment, we start to develop the capacity to not overreact and magnify our perception of stress, but we learn to keep it in perspective. And I want to highlight the attitudes that you bring toward yourself during mindfulness practices are crucial to reducing stress and strengthening resilience. It's this approach that you take towards yourself that's caring and kind and understanding, just as you would treat a loved one. And these attitudes of treating yourself kindly influence the mind states of acceptance and letting go, which are highly beneficial to our well-being and can get us out of feeling stuck and helpless toward effectively coping with our problems. So I'd like to recap now What the mindfulness-based stress reduction program is. It's an 8-week evidence-based program where we practice secular intensive mindfulness. And the scientific research shows that the programs help individuals reduce suffering that comes with having conditions like anxiety and depression or chronic illness and the general stressors of daily life. The practices embedded in the 8-week program consist of a variety of mindfulness exercises that include breath and body awareness, mindful movement, and exploration of patterns of thinking and feeling and acting when we are under stress. The program is offered in an in-person and online formats by many different organizations. And so the specific mindfulness exercises that we practice are sitting meditation, where we focus attention on our breath, body, and sounds. The body scan, which is typically done in a lying down posture, where you are systematically taking your attention to different regions of the body and noticing the sensations in these regions. Mindfulness in everyday life is also practiced. So practices like mindful eating and mindful walking are practiced in the program. Loving kindness meditation is also practiced. It is a form of meditation where you cultivate feelings of goodwill towards yourself and others. And awareness starts to arise of our stress reactivity habits and thought patterns. We become aware of our typical habits of how we respond to stress. And we practice mindful communication when we share and talk with each other in groups. So in each session, there is a period of time where we practice mindfulness. Educational material is provided about the stress response and how to work with common obstacles that come up in practice. Each participant can feel a sense of safety in sharing in the group and know that their information is held in the utmost confidentiality. There is also group discussion where we talk about the practices and what the reactions were to them by participants and answer any questions that are coming up. There's a one-on-one interview where you get to meet with the instructor and ask any questions you may have or concerns. And the instructor can give you advice on any specific questions you have about the program. There is home practice assigned each week, and commitment to practicing outside of class is crucial because that's how you will develop a stronger mindfulness muscle, is by practicing daily. There's an all-day retreat that's typically after the 6th class and between the 6th and 7th class, where you practice all day in silence. And this offers a unique opportunity for participants to maintain the continuity of mindfulness practice over an extended period. And you practice all of the mindfulness exercises that you've learned previously. There's mindful eating and mindful movement, mindful sitting, and the body scan. And 2 new meditations are introduced in the all-day retreat: loving kindness meditation and mountain meditation. Many people end up valuing the silence in the all-day retreat and say that it gave them a chance to fully be with themselves in a deeper way. And at the closing of the all-day retreat, everyone gathers together to break the silence and share the experience of their day with each other. So we're going to stop and take a meditation break here, and we're going to practice the body scan. In just a few minutes, we will engage in the body scan practice, another foundational practice of MBSR. And as you know, in every mindfulness practice, you observe and bring your attention to your breath, to your bodily sensations, thoughts, feelings in the present moment with an open and accepting orientation to whatever experience is arising for you, whether it be pleasant or unpleasant. And so in the body scan, I will be guiding you to systematically bring your attention to different regions of the body as the anchor of your attention. And you'll simply observe the sensations and feelings that arise in these areas with openness, acceptance, and kind awareness as best you can. And you might find there are sensations of tingling at one point, or a sense of heaviness or lightness, a warmth or coolness, pressure, pulsing. There may be a whole array of sensations that are occurring throughout the body, or there may be no sensations at all, and this is equally worthy of your observation. There may be uncomfortable sensations in the body, and the instruction is to see if you can simply meet what is there in a spacious, accepting way, even though it's uncomfortable. But if it is too uncomfortable, then you can shift your attention to a different anchor, like the breath, or open your eyes and anchor attention on different objects in the room. And then come back to the body scan. What's most important here is that you know you are in control any time of where you place your attention, and you can shift it in a way that is supportive for you and in a way that you are taking good care of yourself. So let's go ahead right now and do the body scan practice. So you're sitting here in an upright posture. You can make sure you're feeling relaxed and alert as best you can. And you can start by feeling your feet making contact with the floor, and feeling into your legs and your buttocks making contact with the chair. It's a way to ground yourself. You can close your eyes or have a soft gaze downward, whatever is most comfortable for you. You can start to notice your hands making contact with your lap or some other surface, and see if you can relax the hands, soften the hands. And to continue to bring a bit more ease to the body, bringing the shoulders down away from the ears. And you can relax your jaw, soften the eyes and the eyelids, and soften the forehead, bringing kind awareness to the face and getting a sense of the entire body, sitting here breathing moment to moment. So for a few minutes, we'll simply focus our attention on our breath, either at the belly or the chest, or both, and feel the rise and fall, the belly and the chest, as the breath comes in and as it goes out, moment to moment, breath by breath. And not trying to control the breath in any way, just letting it be. Each breath a new beginning. And now we'll move into the body scan now, so you can take your attention all the way down the body and out to the toes. Noticing the toes in the left and right foot. Opening up to any sensations you're feeling here. Staying with the awareness of the toes moment to moment as you're breathing. And now bringing awareness to the feet, the right and left foot, the inner arches, the tops and bottoms of the feet, awareness of ankles and heels. And then moving attention up to the shins and the calves, the knees and back of the knees. Inviting in all sensation, equally or none with equality. Spaciously opening to whatever is arising, allowing and letting be. And then moving attention up to the thighs, noticing the hamstrings, the front and back side of the upper legs. Broadening your awareness to include the entirety of the legs and the feet, moment to moment, as you're breathing. And then from the legs and the feet, taking attention to the hip region of the body, an area of the body we probably don't pay much attention to, and just noticing sensations in the hips. Drawing awareness now up to the belly, perhaps becoming aware of the belly movement with the breath. And now bringing awareness to the back region of the body, noticing the low back, the mid back, and the upper back. Feeling the entirety of the back with your awareness. Breathing with the back, allowing and letting be. And then noticing the chest region of the body. Perhaps you can feel or hear the heart beating. Just opening up and relaxing the chest and allowing and letting be as best you can here. From the chest region now, bringing awareness to the shoulders. Perhaps bringing the shoulders down away from the ears, breathing in and out with the shoulders. From the shoulders, bringing attention down now to the arms, noticing the upper arms, the front and back of the elbows, and the forearms. Noticing the space now in the palms of the hands, feeling into the thumbs and fingers. Noticing the back side of the hands as you're breathing. And then broadening your awareness to include the entirety of the arms and the hands. And shifting attention up the body to throat and the neck. The very back of the head. The chin, relaxing and releasing the jaw. Noticing the tongue and the inside of the mouth. Bringing awareness to the ears and the nose. And the eyes, perhaps softening the eyes and the eyelids. And easing into the forehead, perhaps softening the forehead as best you can. And then bringing attention to the underside of the top of the head, noticing sensations here and the outside too. The crown of the head. Perhaps feeling a sense of open spaciousness at the very top of the head. And now moving attention to the final part of the body scan, moving attention to the whole body, aware of the full body breathing moment to moment. The body is connected and whole. Sensing into the whole body breathing moment to moment. When you're ready, you can bring this body scan meditation to a close by opening your eyes gently and reorienting back into the room. You can take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Welcome back. So you just completed the body scan practice. And the body scan is considered one of the mindfulness of the body practices, which also include mindful walking and mindful yoga. And mindful yoga is a set of very gentle yoga practices that we do in a standing posture as well as a lying down posture. And these body practices help us to get out of our head, out of our cognitive mode of taking in information and shift into our sensory mode of feeling our body sensations, so we can get more connected to our body and feel more in tune into it, as well as become present. And by practicing the body scan or mindful yoga, mindful walking, we can start to become more accepting of our body, perhaps even more appreciative and grateful for its functioning. And these practices can also activate the relaxation response in the body because simply by bringing awareness to our body sensations, that can start to help us let go of the tension that we're holding or carrying, which we're usually doing without awareness. One of the most important shifts that occur after practicing mindfulness regularly is that you start to develop the ability to stop and pause when you are triggered by a stressor, to get some space from it, to be able to think more clearly before responding to it. And mindfulness creates that space between our stress triggers and our reactions so that we can respond to them in healthier ways instead of reacting impulsively or in ways that compound our stress. And we can end up making wiser choices in how we not only respond to stress, but how we live our lives moment to moment. And there are other skills of resilience that develop as well. We start to become more spontaneously in the moment, present to our experiences as they're happening versus constantly being lost in thought or on autopilot. We can start to build a capacity to handle our negative and stressful emotions without suppressing them or denying them or magnifying them. We can start to relate to them with acceptance and kindness and allow them to express in healthy ways. And we also start to become compassionate to ourselves, start to treat ourselves as we would a good friend, and start to take care of ourselves in a more healthy way or more frequently, and not get too caught up in self-judgment and self-criticism, which is a common part of being human. And mindfulness practices help shift out of that mode of constantly relating to oneself in that way, especially when under stress. So I'm going to conclude this orientation with a short mindful movement practice where we will be engaging in a small subset of MBSR standing yoga practices. And we'll get to that in just a minute or so. I want to point out that I have included the references here to the research on the effectiveness of mindfulness and the link to GWCIM, where you can learn more about the MBSR classes and sign up for an MBSR program through GWCIM. And you can contact me to learn more, or if you have any questions, feel free to get in touch with me at any time. Mindful standing yoga practice in a standing position. And there are a few things I want to say before we move into the practice. In this practice, I'll be inviting you to bring gentle awareness to your body and bring attitudes of curiosity and kindness towards yourself as we go through the slow stretching movements. In mindful movement, the emphasis is more on the awareness of the movements and bodily sensations and breath versus on having to move in any exact certain way. So please feel free at any time to adapt the instructions to honor what your body needs. There is no exact right way to do this. So we're standing here with our feet about hip width apart, and our arms are down by our sides. We can soften the knees and have the tailbone slightly tucked, having the chest lifted and open and the shoulders down away from the ears. And you can feel a lifting up through the crown of the head, your feet deeply rooted into the ground. So you're standing tall and stable like a mountain. And in fact, this position is called the mountain pose. So let's take a few moments here to feel our breath. You can put your hands on your belly and just feel the movement of the belly as the breath comes in and as it goes out, moment to moment. Or you can put your hands on your chest and feel the movement here of the breath. As it comes in, the chest rises. As it goes out, the chest falls. Just feeling the breath moment to moment. You can close your eyes or have a soft gaze downward, whatever is most comfortable for you. Feeling the whole body now, standing here breathing. And then opening your eyes and put your arms down back by your sides. And we're going to do 3 short movement practices. And the first one is a raising of the arms. So we will be raising our arms out to our sides and up overhead and then down. And then we'll be raising our arms one by one. The left arm and the right arm comes up and out in front and overhead. And then we will do a short stretching of the neck practice and shoulder rolls. And then we'll bring this practice to a close. So we're going to start by raising both arms up. So you can breathe in and bring the arms slowly up overhead, feeling into the movement, feeling into bodily sensations and the breath. Once your hands are up at the top, you can look up towards your fingertips, stretch your fingertips towards the ceiling, stretching out the body, feeling that stretch, and then bringing the arms down slowly by your side. Once again, feeling into the movement, feeling your body and your breath. And when you're back in mountain pose, you can stop and pause and take a moment to just notice what your body feels like now. Perhaps it feels differently than when you began, or the same. Just noticing. We'll do that one more time. Breathing in, bringing the arms slowly up overhead. And once your arms are up overhead, looking up towards your fingertips, stretching the fingertips up towards the ceiling, lengthening the body, and then breathing out, bringing the arms down slowly by your sides. Back into mountain pose. And now we're going to move the arms up one at a time. Raise the arms up one at a time. So breathing in, you can slowly bring your right arm out in front of you and up overhead, feeling into the movement. And then once your arm has reached the top, look up towards your fingertips, and you can stretch your fingertips of your right hand up towards the ceiling, feeling into that stretch, breathing out, bringing the right arm down by your side. And taking a moment to stop and pause here and notice how the body feels now. Maybe the left arm feels different from the right arm. Just noticing as you're breathing. And now breathing in, bringing the left arm up overhead. And when you get to the top, looking up towards your fingertips, breathing in, stretching the fingertips up towards the ceiling, and breathing out. Bringing the left arm down slowly by your side. And coming back into mountain pose, you can close your eyes and look downward, perhaps take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Just feeling into your body, your bodily sensations, the feeling of your body standing here breathing. Just noticing, allowing, and letting be. And now we're going to move into the next stretching movements, so you can take your head and slowly bring it down towards your right shoulder. And then up to center. Then bring your head down towards your left shoulder. Up to center. And you can drop your chin down towards your chest, only stretching as far as is comfortable for you. Taking these movements very slowly and gently, and then bringing your head back up to center. And if it's comfortable for you, you can bring your head back and stretching out the front of the neck. And bringing your head back to center. You can do this one more time at your own pace. Head comes down towards your right shoulder. Remembering to breathe with it. Back up to center, dropping your head down towards your left shoulder. Gently bringing your head up to center. Dropping your chin down to the chest. Head comes back up to center. And then dropping the head back very gently. Bringing your head back to center. Stopping and pausing here in mountain pose. And once again, closing your eyes or looking downward and checking in with your body, feeling your breath, noticing how your body feels now, standing here, breathing. And now we'll move into the final stretching movement of this practice, and we will move into shoulder rolls. So you can bring your shoulders up towards your ears, back and down, breathing in and out as you're taking your shoulders in a backward movement. Seeing if you can allow and let go as you release any tension in the shoulders with this movement. And then when you're ready, you can reverse and bring your shoulders up towards your ears, forward and down. So rolling your shoulders in this forward movement, feeling any tension release from the shoulders, from the body. When you're ready, coming back into mountain pose and pausing here. And once again, closing the eyes or having that soft gaze downward and just checking in with your body once again and noticing how your body feels now after going through those movements. Just allowing and letting it be as it is as you're breathing, moment to moment. And then opening your eyes or looking upward and coming back into orienting yourself back into the room. Welcome back